Hello and welcome. I am the Last Hit Point Hero, and you have found your way to TPK Roleplay. We are so very glad you're here, and we hope you enjoy your stay. Over the course of, well, either a couple hours or a couple more weeks, depending on how dinner tonight goes, we will be working our way through the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition adventure module, Curse of Strahd. The devil has invited them to dinner. Will they walk out in peace or be cast out in pieces? We shall have to wait and see. First and foremost, no attempt to make this stream child appropriate has occurred. While necessary changes to problematic elements of the raw material have been rewritten, this is still a dark and stormy gothic horror story. This actual play stream contains adult language, descriptions of violence and light gore, scary images. Who knows what could happen in the Baron's castle, and generally speaking, a great deal of darkness. Our players are here to bring the light. Safety tools are in place for the players, but you as a viewer do not have such a luxury, so if you know of any sensitivities to the listed topics, please keep a teleportation spell prepped and ready just in case. Barring that readied action, keep all heads, hands, paws, and claws inside the stream at all times. Slap that follow button for night after night after night after night after night after night after day and night after night of TPK roleplay goodness, as we have a packed schedule. Join the wonderful Discord server, which I am positive will appear in chat at any moment. And above all else, be good. Secondeth, with no other announcements in mind, I would like to take this opportunity to reintroduce our wonderful players. So, everyone here will say hello, introduce themselves and their characters, plug any wild and exciting things they might be participating in, other shows or projects they're participating in, games they play, etc., 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 and what is their character expecting for dinner tonight? What do you think is on Strahd's table as you walk into his dining hall? We shall see. Beginning in the upper left corner of your screen, 100 and some odd years ago, our forebears brought forth upon this internet a niffer.
I've not been on the internet for over a score of years, but thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Nifferniff. I am the channel gremlin of TPK. I am mostly in Modules Week, which you can find all of our cool stuff on that this week. Yeah, there's some dragons and some ice and stuff going on later this week. It's gonna be real fun. I'm playing Bright, the Tiefling Genasi Artificer. Honestly, it's a trap. It's not dinner. It's just gonna be we show up and we get murdered. Is what it's gonna be. No food, no nothing.
We'll have to see. It's possible. We won't know until we begin. Secondly, in the upper middle, conceived in mystery and dedicated to the proposition that this man ought to be on all things and in all things, it's Noir Enigma.
It's me. God, that was dumb. Hey everybody, I'm Noir. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram as the Noir Enigma. You can find me on TikTok as just Noir Enigma because I forgot the password. Earlier today, I was. Yo, I'm not gonna lie to the people. Earlier today, I was on Kobo Press, where we had a one shot with Todd Kenrick, Meg Kenrick, and Adam Bradford, as well as the lovely Dot, where we were showing some of the magic items from the Vaults of Magic Kickstarter that I designed an item for. So please check the VOD of that. Also, I'm on Roll20's Kids on Bikes game. The VOD of the latest episode should be out soon. And also check out the VOD of Gen Con Spring Showcase, where I got to reveal a bunch of cool new games that are coming out. And I got to play Drawful, where you get to see some of my artistic abilities that don't exist. But that's me. As for the dinner, I'm expecting, maybe some cornbread, macaroni. Some greens would be good, fried chicken, and to call Strahd a bitch to his face. But that's me.
Well, we'll have to see how that turns out for you.
Probably not well.
I don't know. You got a secondary character ready, don't you, Noir? Just in case.
Oh yeah, we all have backups.
Yeah, everybody's got backups. It's a Curse of Strahd campaign.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have backups?
Continuing.
You're probably fine.
You've already almost died. You survived almost dying.
Yeah.
I think that counts.
Yeah, like 7 times.
Are they called backups if you habitually make characters all the time, though?
I mean, I have an entrance prepared for mine, so yeah, it's a backup.
It's a backup if you have the entrance ready.
There you go.
If you have the draft to send to the DM for your backstory lore, it's a backup.
Yeah.
In the upper right corner of your screen now, we shall engage this great role player, testing to see if she or any other are as so skilled, so entertaining as Corndog McGraw.
Hi, I'm Corndog McGraw. Still, I am playing Ficus Fig in this campaign. Yep, there we go. And then I also am a part of Module Week on Thursday nights, but we do have tomorrow night off, so you guys get a free night to watch our VODs. I strongly recommend actually going back and watching Noir's Kids on Bikes VOD if that's available, because it was so funny. I was laughing so hard. You get to like hang out with some turnips. It's great. So yeah, go do that. And Ficus is hoping for nachos because Cole mentioned nachos earlier, so I came home from the gym and instantly made nachos, and that's what Ficus also wants. So, nacho party on my side of the table. Welcome.
Nacho party at Strahd's dinner. The Raiders came just in time for the nacho party at Strahd's dinner. Thank you for joining us. We are just finishing up our introductions, and we're going to dinner with Strahd. Beneath a corn dog in the bottom right section of your screen, we here meet on the great tabletop of the interwebs tonight to roll out this battle with luck, skill, and charm, as is fitting from 1 in 20 D&D.
That's me. Hello, everyone. I am Gregory, and you will find me on YouTube at 1 in 20 D&D or in the chat and so forth. So yeah, I do some YouTube stuff every once in a while. I do a vlog. I did a daily vlog last year. That was a challenge. Well, I finished it last year technically, but anyway. Aside from that, I've been doing a bunch of stuff with the Dice Tyrants, and Saturday and Sunday night we have 2 amazing games. One is a modified version of Tomb of Annihilation, which is just super cool and such a great cast. And on Sunday nights we're doing Cyberpunk Superheroes, and that's using the Savage World system, which is really fun. It's a little different than D&D, but man, it's great for narrative, and what another great cast. And again, it's just, oh my goodness, the stories are awesome. I almost died this Sunday. My character, of course, almost died Sunday. I got shot in the head, but I'm a superhero, yo. So, you know.
So you got better?
I got better.
I saw that on Imager today. There was a Civil War soldier from Indiana that got shot in the head and just lived with a lead bullet in his head until it slowly fell out.
I'm not surprised. It can happen.
Yeah. His last, he's... Ooh.
I can't imagine that for real, though.
The more you know.
Exactly. So that's me, and I do play Leaf in the Sunlight of Summer, who is a Tabaxi Ranger, and I think Leaf is expecting illusions and subterfuge for dinner more than anything else. He is looking forward to possibly getting some answers. But he's not sure what is on the menu and whether or not he would trust it to be edible. So...
Well, we'll have to see what exactly is edible at dinner with Strahd. And last but not least, but so far as it is laid out in this game, we cannot dedicate, nor consecrate, nor even hallow this place without the blessing of Robotic Gentleman.
Thank you. I'm Robotic Gentleman. You can find me on the Twitters at Robotic Gent. I don't have any other thing to plug except I do have a VOD from last week for a one-shot adventure towards the Farthest Dawn. I played with a bunch of extraordinary people. It was half Starfield, half homebrew, and 100% fun. So if you guys are bored sometime this week at work and you got 2-3 hours to spare, give that one a check. Aside from that, I will be playing solo Lathander tonight, the group's paladin, and Warforged paladin can only expect one thing when he's at the table with Strahd, and that's a fight. So fingers crossed.
We'll see how that turns out. As for the summary tonight, I shall bring you up to speed on where we are so far. Uther wandered off into the dark outside of the winery on his own. Shocking, I know. He never does stuff like that. Where he met Strahd face to face. A reminder of the dinner to come. While there, he expelled his stick son, deciding that he no longer wanted to have a staff attached to his arm, and left Strahd behind to wander back in with the others. Strahd tried to force Uther's obedience and failed because of his strong willpower, and the brains of the barbarian worked well for him. Ficus wakes up, ravaged by disease and injury and blood and terror, as everyone watches her convulse over and over and over again in pain. Soul cast a lesser restoration, healing spells were thrown about, and she came to, fortunately, this time. Ficus spent some time talking about what happened and her experience in the whatever that was, and the group decided to put the winery behind them and head off to Yester Hill. Passing by a number of disembodied hands, they set camp for the night, only to be met by a dark carriage and a driver waiting for them to enter. A debate raged as to whether or not they should get in, with everyone debating except for Uther, who climbed right in. And eventually, all climbed aboard. They were rapidly carried the many miles between their camp and Strahd's Castle Ravenloft, where the Baron himself turned with a flourish into the castle, welcoming them in for dinner. And that is where we will pick up for this evening. The group of you, standing between two massive towers, a drawbridge in between you and Castle Ravenloft itself. Lightning strikes. Rain begins to fall. And before long, you start to wonder if this is such a good idea or not. The Baron passes beneath his portcullis into the castle proper, simply expecting you to follow. The game is yours.
That was the driver?
That was the Baron himself. The driver is simply waiting.
That whole spiel about, these are my parents, this is my land.
He welcomed you with his formal introduction, and then he turned to enter his castle, waiting to see if you would do the same or not.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Well, so can't possibly leave Uther to his own devices. So
What if we just all stand here and let Uther just have a one-on-one?
No.
He already
we've
did
been
have a
together
one-on-one.
too long for that.
I know.
Been through too much.
I know. Niffer just is anxious, okay?
Come on, I'll nudge you. You don't always want to stay together. Let's go. Keep the group.
I mean, yeah, Bright's definitely gonna go, but Niffer's not happy about it, okay?
The bridge itself extends over a gorge, hundreds of feet deep. The rain pelts down. The sky opens and flashes. It seems the closer you get to the castle itself, the more the land of Barovia presses in around you. Passing beneath the gatehouse, you find yourself in an open courtyard. In front of you are the massive walls of the central keep. And the doors, 20 feet wide, 15 feet high, open, waiting.
Delay, just gonna keep pushing forward.
Leaf
And on my
is gonna
greatsword.
follow Solaire
Okay.
then.
Ficus will take up the rear and just kind of like also keep an eye of like anything sneaking up behind them. Particularly like, you know how we had like creepy fog sneak up behind us once that like trapped us in here and stuff. So she's just keeping her eye out for anything that seems that could like trap us within here.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a perception check then.
I'm so good at this. Oh, I'm actually good at this. Okay. Yep. 17.
A 17. As you look around the castle walls and turn to look behind you, you can see a single figure up on the castle wall high above you. And just as you glance and catch it in your vision, it turns and enters some door beyond your sight. Behind you, across the bridge, the drawbridge, fog rolls in. Not the sickly green fog, but just the thick, unending, unbearable fog of Barovia. The gate itself is a 20-foot by 20-foot room. It's not massive, but it is good sized. And Uther, as you pass through and look around, you can hear the scuffling of claws on stone. The doors themselves are made of dark, thick timbers, banded in iron, that despite its aged appearance is not touched by rust in any way. Another set of double doors are in front of you, both closed, as the rest of the group catches up behind.
Did I see where the Baron went?
It's the only other set of doors is through there, so he went through the first set, and then that set is closed in front of you.
Okay.
How far away from us is he?
Not far, just 10 feet. Everyone stayed fairly close together.
As subtly as he can, Leaf begins to size up Strahd, and I'm going to expend one use of my hunter sense. So, I don't know if there's any way for me to post it in the chat. Let me see if I can do it. Hey, there it is. So, I get to know if he's got any damage immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities.
Absolutely.
Vulnerabilities, nothing.
And what they are,
Resistances,
of course.
everything.
I know, right?
From the time you set eyes on Strahd, you've been curious. You watch as the way that he walks, the way the rain rolls off of his cloak and his skin, and you start to get this magical sense of what does and doesn't hurt him. You know that Strahd...
Before you give me anything, is he hidden from divination magic? Because if he is, it won't work.
He is not.
Okay, perfect.
He
I just want to make sure.
He is not even looking over his shoulder to see if you're following. With the confidence of a apex predator in his own lair, he's turned his back to you, simply expecting you to follow. Unafraid and unconcerned, as far as you can tell. Your mystical senses do pick up that he is resistant to the following things: necrotic damage, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks. All those are just his resistances. So I put those into chat for you.
Thank you.
And other than that, he does not have any immunities, weaknesses that you can tell.
Very good.
I'm going to give everyone a isometric map for now. If we actually do engage in any combat, I have one that's not isometric, so that it is easier to do combat on. And I'm just... That's why I want to use it. It's a very pretty map. And I am just going to drop your overland token on it. So despite it being a horse and carriage, you all are not a horse and carriage. And just to give you scale, each of the squares on this isometric map are 10 by 10. So that will help you give you a sense of the scale of this place. So you all catch up as Uther goes through those double doors into the main entryway. And what's everyone's passive perception, real quick?
I hate that question. That question scares me.
16.
18.
18?
12. Am I really just the least?
Expertise.
Woo! I'm just the least observant by so much.
Passive perception is 15.
15?
Oh no, why am I the most observant of this group? That's a bad choice.
The most easily distracted.
So everyone with 15 or more, you can hear the sounds of clacking claws, scraping on stone. And Ficus, you follow the sound of the claws, and you look up. And illuminated by a flash of lightning, you see 4 red-scaled bodies milling about on the ceiling far above. They're serpentine, reptilian. Seem to
They
just
look kind of like the weird, creepy creature that we saw in that lady's basement. The thing that stabbed me real hard. Why can't I remember? It had like creepy talon claws and stuff like that. And do you guys remember what I'm talking about? It was the only thing that really fought us while we were in the room where like the seance was happening that was draining the life out of that
it
girl.
does not. So
Okay.
that was an imp.
Yeah.
This is much, much, much larger. Each of them about somewhere between 8 and 12 feet long. And as you look up, you catch just a moment as fire flickers from beneath or within the mouth and around the teeth of one of them.
Ficus will just lean a little bit into Bright and just kind of pull on Bright's pant leg and be like, "Don't scream, but you should probably look up." And just point out like the figures that are above us the next time lightning flashes.
It does, and Bright, you also see these 4 reptilian figures above. 2 of them are looking down at you with equal parts interest and disinterest. and the other two seem to be ignoring you completely.
I'm just gonna pull my hood up over my flickering head and just not look at them again.
And Ficus will do the same to Leaf while Bright's kind of like looking up. Just letting the people in the back of the group know without trying to like draw too much attention to her from Strahd.
Yo, where's Irina during all this?
Oh yeah.
Irina is very quietly following along. As she crossed that threshold, Uther, you glance over just to see if she's following or not. And while she was her more timid Irina self for a while, as soon as she crossed the threshold, she squared her shoulders, her eyes filled with a fiery light.
I'm still gonna put my body in between hers and Strahd's. So wherever
Strahd
I
will-
am in the lineup, she's behind me.
Strahd will turn at the double doors of this hallway. I want to thank you for accepting this invitation. As you pass into my home, know that you do so as my guest. I shall harm none of you. I shall not touch a hair on your heads. I am your host, and tonight is an evening for dinner and civil conversation.
Do I believe him?
Yeah, like insight.
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, I think we're all vibe checking this one.
Anybody that wants to vibe check, go
And
ahead
we
and
can
vibe check.
and chat.
All right.
Yeah.
First time we all going for it.
Yep, I'm okay with everybody going for this one. Usually I limit the party rolls because typically
Wow,
if
Uther.
everybody rolls,
Wow.
somebody's going to roll massive.
Woo! 24. Uther
24
has
for
it.
Uther, 18 for Ficus. Soul in Soul's sweet innocence.
That's
Less.
Bright,
Oh, that hurt.
16.
That hurt.
16. And Leaf, were you going to vibe check as well? Or
Oh, that's weird. I thought mine didn't roll. I clicked it. I saw the
This
dice.
came up 16.
I thought I got a
Oh,
16.
it might not be connected over to here, but I could
Yeah.
check in the D&D.
Oh, that's weird. It's supposed to
I
be.
saw Leaf come up 16.
Yeah,
It
you
is a
got 16.
but I don't know why I didn't
Okay.
post in roll.
No
20.
problem.
Sorry about that.
all of you have the sense that he's being sincere. There is this element of his demeanor that makes you believe that he will hold to the rule that he's laid out.
Okay, but he emphasized, I will
Yeah,
not harm you.
Yep, and that's where
Uther was just about to get to
No.
that. Like,
that's where everyone with an 18 plus notices that difference. You
But
get the
they-
impression that there is much in this castle that could bring harm to you. But you do believe the letter of his words. He personally will do nothing at this time.
so, at what point do you let your dogs loose? Let them attack us then, or let them attack us?
Ooh. But if I were to give such a command, would that not be me harming you?
Well, let's
I-
say I come over there and cut your goddamn head off with my greatsword. Would they need a command to come and get me?
If you came and broke the peace of my house, I would give you a chance to apologize. Failing that, the peace is broken, and your pieces will reign over the village of Barovia.
Good to know I get one free shot.
Happily, Uther. Happily. Welcome to my home. He will turn, open the doors, and walk in.
as they're walking in, Ficus is just gonna lean into Leaf and be like, Leaf, those are dogs? And like look back up at the thing on the ceiling because Uther said, would your dogs come get me? And Ficus has never met a dog.
We established we don't know what a dog is. For remaining that in
Never
canon.
met a dog.
They don't live in trees. Dogs can't live up there. They
I
would
literally
fall.
have a metal dog that I literally called the dog.
Is that the only breed?
We also have a real dog. But
do
like for
also
me,
have
I'm
a
just
real
like,
Lancelot was left at the abbey,
yep.
or at the orphanage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not exactly, Ficus. In a manner of speaking, they probably are. But, no, Lancelot is a dog. I'm not entirely sure what those are. Although I would like to take a closer look, if I
Sure,
can.
Nature or Arcana on the way in.
Alright, let's try this here. My nature is better. Let's do that. Oh, that's a crap roll. 7.
7. Something reptilian. Other than that, you're not
Yeah.
certain.
Soul is going to grab Uther by the shoulder as we keep following. As Strahd turns around, he's going to say to him simply, listen, as much as I want to end this now, we got to be, we got to remember who we're with. Not all of us want to die trying to take him down. Let's make sure we have an advantage before you decide to break the peace.
We are in his territory. We will have no advantage.
The hall before you has 4 massive pillars extending up into the ceiling. Set into the wall, 15 feet above the ground, are gargoyles, 8 of them, surrounding the room. But most notable are the figures lined up on either side, awaiting your arrival. A line of figures makes an L, and I draw them in pink because that's the color that came up, directing you toward the hallway to the south. Well, yes, to the south. As you look at them, they are an odd assortment of individuals. You see one that appears to have an owl stuffed and placed on its shoulder. Silvery white hair and glasses. Face ghostly pale. You see another, a lizard folk, a rarity in these parts, with his mouth sewn shut. There is a person on without legs, just a torso, sitting on a mechanical spider-like device. Another, larger, has a screen of some kind on their chest. There's a well-groomed man with russet hair pulled back into a ponytail. Trails coming out either of his corners of his eyes of blood. There's a ruggedly handsome, dark-haired half-elf with both eyes scooped out. And a woman with a few stray strands of red hair peeking out from a scalp that has been severely burned, and the word pretender branded across her forehead. Each of these surround you as you walk in, standing silently, obediently, deferring to Strahd as he passes through. He walks down to the south, opens a set of double doors here, and enters.
Gregory is grimacing and cringing. Leaf doesn't show much other than maybe his eyes dart from side to side as he just observes each of these creatures.
Soul looks at them. I guess it's safe to assume they're undead, correct?
Are you going to use a special spell of any kind to determine that?
Yeah, I could use one. What other point have I had a chance to use it? I will use Divine Sense.
They all register as undead. Each of them appears to be geared for adventure. It seems that they were perhaps other groups that came and tried and failed.
Uther's going to walk up to the one that has Pretender on her forehead and just kind of poke at her. And just, so what this would do to get your special attention?
Strahd has already begun passing into the dining room, but he pauses a moment and looks over his shoulder. There are some who think themselves more than what they actually are. They call themselves what they're not.
What do you call yourself, Strahd?
I am the lord of this land. I am this land, and it is mine. Come, we have dinner to attend. And he passes into the dining room.
Oh.
So I'll look at all the failed adventurers and say, well, he's going to look at the rest of our party who's still in the room and says, we are not ending up like this. And just follows Uther inside.
As you pass within, Kohlrabi, I told you as they got to the dining room, that's when you'd probably want to bail. This is still off the book, so you've got time to go, Cole. But as you walk in the dining room, the Count makes his way to a massive organ set against the back wall. 40 feet wide, 40 feet tall, figures in agony clawing around it, carved in marble and stone. And sitting around the table are a number of individuals. Some you recognize, some you do not. Bright,
No.
you see Stanimir sitting at one of the chairs.
No.
Irina, as she walks in, immediately calls out, Ismark! What are you doing here? Her strong demeanor disappears in an instant. You see Aragol standing at his chair at the right hand of the head of the table.
Jim, is
There's-
Aragol the Vistani that we saw, disciplining his daughter?
Aragol is the one that killed the disobedient Vistani, rather
don't
than
like
just mark him.
Yeah. Okay.
The one where Bright encouraged you not to intervene, it would be fine, and it was not fine.
And it was not
Right.
fine.
Yeah,
He was the one who was real nice to you.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, exactly. Racist.
He kind of was. Wasn't intentional, but he did end up that way. There are two others who are there. Both are wearing the same kind of formal braided strand as Ismark is as a burgomaster. You don't recognize either of them. Bright wouldn't have any reason to know them, and the others have never met the burgomasters of these other places. And Strahd walks to the bench at the organ. And before he sits, he turns around. He says, "Before my new guests sit, I have final instructions for the lot of you. Ismark stands and inclines his head slightly. You will permit the sisters to occupy the inn. It shall be their hearth and home. But their activities are not your concern. There they will stay. But what of the Vistani? I care not. Isaac, one of the portly burgomaster clothed gentleman, stands, bows his head. Vallaki shall open its gates to all. Signs welcoming all comers must be posted, and I expect you to show the hospitality that I showed you this evening." The heavy-set man says, Yes, my lord." Dmitri, a thin, pale figure, the other burgomaster, stands. "The abbot shall take over your responsibilities. Bow to his wishes as you would my own." But what if the people of Krezk might... No debate. Lay down the knots of your office and leave this place. You and your wife can sort out your own problems. As for the Vistani, Stanimir, the bard in charge of Bright's caravan, stands and inclines his head like the others. Perhaps a fraction less, but showing deference nonetheless. "I have a warning for you, Stanimir. Depending greatly on how this conversation goes." He glances at the five of you, or the six of you standing at the door. "Will determine if the Vistani retain my protections or not. If not, you will no longer pass through the fog. You will no longer be ignored by my servants. You will be just another denizen of this place." And Aragon, the Vistani that executed rather than simply banished one of his, one of the people under his care, stands, and he bows deeply. "You have shown great promise. I shall consider further what you proposed. I shall consider further your position among the Vistani. Now, all of you leave. I have other business to attend." The group of them begin to file out past you at the doors as Strahd sits at the organ and begins to play.
Can I just grab for my uncle's hand as he passes, please?
You reach for his hand, and you can see just a little bit of his face. And there's a tear running down the corner of it.
Oh, there's a lot on my face.
He doesn't stay, but you can hear him say as he goes, "I do what I must. and keeps walking. The table before you is piled with decadent foods. There is a deer. It's in its entirety, cooked and sitting in the center of the table. There's vegetables, fruits, sauces. Each glass already poured full of wine. And 6 spots awaiting you.
Ficus is gonna take out her seeing stone and just like try to keep it a little bit to herself, tuck it away, hide it a little bit, and she is going to use it to cast detect poison and what's the other one?
Poison and disease.
Yes, detect poison and disease.
You cast the spell. The mists within begin to swirl. The spell goes off and you detect neither poison nor disease of any kind.
Do I feel like the spell actually worked?
You have no reason to believe otherwise.
Okay.
Soul's gonna choose the seat closest to Strahd.
Okay.
Uther is going to take a beat and look at Bright and just kind of have a word with her for a second.
I mean, she is openly, softly weeping, and probably not going to pay much attention to you. But you may try.
He's gonna try.
Oh no, let's see, that's parenting in action.
Don't parent me.
He's not gonna parent her. He's just gonna go, I aim to kill Strahd sooner rather than later. Should I fail, this may have consequences for your people. Apologies.
Don't say that if you don't mean it. They're my family.
So should we stay our blade? Would that keep them safe? He can kill them at a moment's notice.
And that would be true if we lose this fight. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying plan. Please.
He just and goes and yes.
Is everyone still standing?
We're at the
Soul sat down. Everyone else
Yeah.
is kind of at the entrance.
Is Strahd standing?
Strahd went and sat at the organ, and he began to play, but I couldn't find any music I wasn't certain wasn't copyrighted that was organ music. So
Okay, but he is playing right now?
he is playing
Yes.
right now.
Da, 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 da.
Imagine
I'm
being
gonna-
so confident you play your own battle music.
Bard life.
Hear it though.
I will plan. I will wait for an opening. That is all I can. That is all I will give you.
While they're chatting, Ficus is gonna walk up to the table and get the spot that has like, she's probably gonna be in a middle spot that has the decent amount of reach to as many different items on the table as possible.
Yep.
So,
And
That's-
aside from that, Leaf will move over opposite Solaire so that he can maintain eye contact with Solaire. If that conflicts with where Ficus has put herself, he'll just be next to Ficus on that side.
no, I think Ficus is in the middle, so there would probably be another spot closer to Strahd.
Uther's not
I
attempting
will-
to place himself at the right hand of Strahd.
Yeah, I would like very much to sit on the other side, like right here.
Yeah, I'm
So,
giving everyone their tokens so you can place yourself down.
I'll
Gosh.
do it. I'll do
To the
mine.
kitchen or dining
you
hall.
got it.
There we go.
Thank you.
It's gonna be hard
I'm
for
big. Oh.
hard for the stream to see because it'll get all mixed up with the bars and names, but I think that'll work out.
We're missing one.
Irina
Oh,
was
Irina,
next
yep.
to me.
Not if Roll20 freezes on me. Oh, there it goes.
Oh.
Oh, she's real big.
Oh yeah, that's the kind of power we need.
We got that premium account token.
Gotta pay the monthly fee for that one. She quietly sits next to Ficus. She'll turn to Ficus and say, What are we going to do? Why are we here?
To be honest, I think our goal is to stay alive. I checked, and it's not poisoned. So, something I'm gonna do here is eat. It's been rough recently, and I'm going to take advantage of this because it's not poisoned currently. So, hopefully that means I can ingest it.
You already stole the entire Wizards of Wine's pantry. You have enough food for the rest of the campaign in your boot, remember?
I know. This is fresh. I don't have to prepare it. This is great.
I'm just picturing you doing that thing with the shopping cart in the grocery aisle where you just open the loot boot and just push it all.
Yeah,
arm
that
out
was-
and the whole aisle comes down.
Yep, that was Wizards of Wine. And now
Yep.
we're here, and Ficus is just going to start eating
Alright.
and drinking out of pure stress. She does not have a plan. She
Oh, yeah.
doesn't know why we're here. Everything is just stress eating and stress drinking. She thinks all of this is still dumb. So she's just doing the only thing she knows that she
How
can
to
do
do.
this without, putting her foot in her mouth. Because she's also very scared to talk.
Ficus, you have eaten a lot of food. You have eaten a lot of good food. You have made a lot of good food. This food is excellent. Every bite created with care. Every sauce perfectly seasoned. The meats savory. The breads perfectly risen and kneaded. It is wonderful.
Just stress eating. Just doesn't want to focus on anything around her.
So, I always like to have a story while I eat, so I'd like to go over one that I've heard that I find rather pathetic. Story of someone who couldn't handle rejection, so they lashed out and took it out on a country who was too weak to fight back. Have you heard of such a story?
The organ music will go down to pianissimo. Just a quiet background sound as he continues to play the 4 keyboards of this organ with expert movements. A story like that? I have heard stories of conquest. I have heard stories of years of boredom awaiting a real challenge. Did you meet my servants on the way in?
Oh, yes, yes.
Each stood against me. I brought them here intentionally. I sought out the strongest, or the smartest, or the bravest, or the most true-hearted, trying to find one who would at least give me pause. And none did.
Well, why would they? You've been so utterly defeated by rejection.
Defeated by rejection?
Oh, yes, yes. You see, we have something that they did not. Chances are, if I raise my blade against you, you'll cut me down. I'm wise enough to know that. How long have you been waiting for Arena, I wonder? You see, I'm okay with causing you pain rather than ending your miserable life.
Miserable life. And waiting Irina? Irina is a vessel. For centuries, I have saved myself for my Tatiana. I have sought her, wooed her in her many forms, wanted to be wanted. I do not cringe at rejection. I long for something more. And what of you, Uther? What is it that makes you stay your blade, though you wish so much to unsheathe it?
Ready to action.
Walking in here, I thought nothing would. And even now, I'm not entirely sure whether my blade will stay or not. I think more than anything, I just see you, and I'm so utterly disappointed. I thought you'd be more.
More what, Uther? More brash? More belligerent? You see, Uther, the loud talk comes with a weak heart. I don't have to openly threaten. I don't have to allude to insult. For I already know that I am greater. Perhaps one day you would deserve my seat. I thought you might make a successor. For when I do marry my Tatiana, I shall leave this place behind. Some other would have to rule in my stead. And I must say, from the moment you banged at my gates, I thought you might be that individual. But no longer. You do not deserve it.
I would not deserve it if you gave it to me. I intend to take your seat.
We shall see. And what of you, Ficus Fig? I can see the fog collect around your ankles. I know that you have flirted with death. And yet here you sit, eating and eating and eating away your sorrow. Would you take this throne?
When he mentioned the fog around her ankle, she will like literally look down in between her legs and like, when it's not like actually grappling her ankles, she'll take a beat there and be like, oh fuck this guy. In her brain, not out loud. No. I don't want it. I don't want to have to do all this and tell all these people what to do. I want people to just do what they want. I don't
do what they want. Sorry. Yeah. Continue.
Well, everyone has a mind of their own, and they should be allowed to choose where their path takes them. It's not up to you to decide what's good for the people of Barovia. I think people are okay with finding it on their own. And then she'll kind of like look to Irina and give her hand just a little squeeze. I think the people of Barovia, if given the chance, would choose to be happy and choose to do small things for their neighbors. It doesn't have to be a big castle. It doesn't have to be a big city. It doesn't have to be any of this. They just have to look out for one another. Kind of like the Vistani do. And she'll look over at Bright.
She meets your eyes for the first time in over a day and just is still crying but tries to smile at you.
Like the Vistani. You think you know of the Vistani simply because you spent a week with one in my land. The Vistani are generous, gracious, quite frankly, excellent cooks. But they are, well, how would Uther put it? They are like all the others of Barovia. Sheep. They do what I allow them to do. They accept their little bit of freedom and keep to their camps and avoid the towns and turn a blind eye when it matters most. Uther is right, you know. The people have given up. But Uther's reasoning is wrong. It is not because they are weak. It is because I am strong. I shaped this land. I changed it from what the Fanes created into something controllable. Something steady and reliable. You think people would do good given the chance? Has that truly been your experience in this land? What hospitality have you been shown? What compassion?
If I'm following what you said, they're not weak, but you're strong. They haven't had the opportunity to show us who they truly are. Because you're telling them what to do, you're telling them who to be. They're not allowed to be themselves. Because you're strong. You're stronger than them. That's true. You're stronger than I am. But I think if they were given the opportunity, if they were given just even a little bit of candlelight, they could illuminate the darkness that clouds them. So, I don't know. I think if given the opportunity, they would choose to be better. Will you ever give them the opportunity to do so?
I give no one anything. As I did in my youth, you must earn it. But tell me, Solaire of Lathander, what light has your god brought to this place? You see, I am familiar with Lathander. I cast him out centuries ago. But there are always hangers-on. There are always those who say they are of the cloth. Have you met a faithful priest? Or do you kill the priests you meet?
Looking at Uther at that comment, I'll say I have met people of Lathander, and the simple fact that the evening still exists in your land shows the power of my God. That in spite of your control, of your boring steadiness, of your darkness, that they are still able to exist, are able to carve out, if it's just even a small piece, a piece from your land. That is what my God is able to do. And you talk of a challenge, well, I believe that's what I am for. Before I leave this land, that light will be spread far and wide.
That is what you believe. That is what your mechanical heart longs for. I have yet to even determine what you are. Or what you think you are, I should say. Do you truly count yourself among the living? A champion for life from a shell imbued with mysticism?
Whether or not I'm alive is different. Doesn't matter if you're alive. You affect this land just the same. With regards to life, that is my purpose, and that is what makes me.
I would say a noble statement. But I have trouble believing that a creature such as yourself can have nobility.
And I had trouble believing corpses could walk, but here we are.
You have been in Barovia long enough to know well. And what of you, leaf in the sunlight of summer? A keeper of the feather? A member of a prodigal tribe? Cast out years ago and replaced by a hodgepodge inter-fighting selfish family.
I find myself reflecting on your definition of strength. I fear that you have misconstrued the meaning of the word. You see, what you talk about is actually dominance or dominion. You're talking about force and power. But those things are not strength. Strength is what you use, what you wield when others give willingly their support. Any leader that's worth their own knows this because they're useless without those that they support, that they lead. You are a blight on this land, and whatever you think you've done to control or subdue it, it's a meaningless, temporary thing. For sooner, probably than later, you will turn to dust, as all things do. Yet, this land will survive and go on and regrow, because that's the nature of things. But you seem to have forgotten that. I wonder, Baron, if you even remember what things were like when they were still green in your beloved land.
Remembering the face of the yellow sun, remembering the smell of the summer rose, remembering the grass beneath my feet. All of it is meaningless without my Tatiana. All shall die. All shall pass. All shall fade until we are together.
And that is your fault. Because you seem to not understand the most simple thing, that as long as you retain her memory, she's still with you. She's still here. But you, pathetic that you are, pathetic as you are, hold on to her physical being, I suppose. You need her ephemeral form to cling to. Sad, really. I pity you.
Pity me. How quaint. He'll stand up from the organ and turn. Walk up to the table at its head and pick up an empty goblet. Look within it a moment. And tap a long, clawed fingernail against the side. Tink, 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 tink. And you, last for now, Bright Zelmius. You are on your death walk, your great adventure. It is so cute how the Vistani cling to that worn-out tradition. They treat you as a stranger rather than family. I have found it an unusual element of the people. You are here in my home. You are walking my land. You are defying my will and expecting me to continue that protection. Is that what you think is going to happen here, Bright? You think you can defy me and not suffer for it. Tell me, why bother with these creatures? Why not return home safe and sound? Nothing to say.
What is the point when you would not hear it? You ask us so many things. Do you care what we say? You ask about free will, you ask about how a construct feels, but you spent so long here, you've forgotten how to live. Why do you even want her? I motion across. Why do you want her if all you have is this existence? You have endured so many days, but I do not think you have lived a single one of them. You don't care. You don't remember what it is to be a human anymore, and that's why you're always going to be so upset. And it's why you're making the rest of us so upset. When you are not happy, then we can't be. That's the point of humanity. Making people better. And you don't have any of that. And that's why you can't find her.
I have cast aside what is weak. Indecision. Dragging feet. I know what I desire. I have a singular purpose and motivation, and I let that drive me. Willingly. Openly. All that you have said, I listen because I truly wonder if anyone can show me something more. And so far, no. Nothing to change my mind. Nothing to alter my focus.
Because you will not be weak. To know love is to be weak. To let someone else see what could hurt you the most and trust them to protect it. And because you will not let that happen, you will never find the love you are looking for. That is why I am gone from my family, who I love more than anything. And I know that they love me. And I know that this separation is for me to learn why I need them so much. Where I need people to take care of the parts of me that I cannot take on my own. I am by myself to find out and appreciate what they do every day for me. Because they love me.
Do you even know what your uncle agreed to before he left? Whatever for my family. A noble claim. A interesting decision when it must be made. You remember your cousin, Esmeralda, do you not? The doors of the dining room open. And your cousin Esmeralda enters. It has been quite some time since you've seen her. And the last time you did, she had the beautifully made prosthetic that you and your uncle worked on. And you remember how she lost that leg to begin with. Her rebellion against Strahd. His allowance that his wolves take it. As she enters, she does not have that leg, nor her other, as she pulls herself along with a wine bottle clasped underneath her armpit. As she passes by you, she refuses to look in your face, turning her face away. She makes her way to the head of the table and stops, and Strahd squats down, refusing to show her any dignity, and holds his glass for her to fill. When she does, you can see a mark under her left eye. A cut. A small scar. When his glass is full, he stands, and she turns her face to make her way back out the dining room doors. Stanimir will always make that trade. And if he is willing to allow his daughter be harmed, that the people remain safe, that is who you hold up.
Would I be here?
I'm sorry.
Would I be here if I was not also willing to give up a life?
I have yet to fully understand why you continue. For I have watched for some time. Your opinion is disrespected. Your thoughts dismissed. Your desires that this quaint little group be considered a family or a clan. And yet not once in these 7 days have you truly stood side by side. That is how I know that my successor is among you. For you will tear yourselves apart, and only one will remain. And Irina, the timid Irina, will look up. You are a vessel. You are optional. And so I will give you an out. He will take out of his vest pocket a small vial. And Uther, you recognize the vial. It's the one that he tried to give you outside of the winery just the other night. He will make his way around the table and sit it next to her left hand. Pour this into the fountain at Berez. And Irina, you and Tatiana will be separated. You need not carry her with you. When that is done, return and let me know. For then I can celebrate my wedding. For then my beloved shall return. And then I will leave Barovia with her at my side. And one of them, he gestures toward the five of you, can sit on the throne instead. Is that a trade you would make, Irina? She just sits there, looking down at her plate. And there is this shift in her attitude, not to the militant demeanor that she's shown before, but a demeanor you haven't seen yet. Her hair will become even more red for a moment, her eyes more crystal blue, and she will look up into Strahd's face and say to him, I rejected you years ago. I will have nothing to do with you now or ever. You killed my love. You killed your own brother. You have caused unmeasurable suffering. You are nothing. He'll turn and walk back to the head of the table. How does 10 days sound? Is that enough time for a final stand? He'll walk around the table and place a hand on Uther's chair. Both hands. Or do you want to try sooner?
He is going to give Bright a quick look.
Don't do it.
Ooh, Ficus is not eating. She is staring daggers at you across the table right now. Like, don't you?
My first instinct is just that's bait, GIF.
Yep.
Just gonna stand up with his hand on the sword.
Uther. Together.
The first one is free. The second is your end.
How does it feel spending eternity trying to get your brother's sloppy seconds? Pathetic.
You have my hospitality extended, Uther. I am a patient man. And unlike you, my arrogance is not misplaced. Let me prove it. This, he gestures to the castle, is my home. You are free to explore as you wish. Snoop about, whatever you want. But in 10 days, this ends. On your terms or mine. For there is something very true about all of you. You have begun to bore me.
Keep my chair warm.
He can't, yo. He's undead.
Warm up those butt cheeks and then keep my chair warm.
Look, I will prestidigitate your chair for you so it's warm when we come back, okay?
He will turn, walk toward the organ, and though nothing out of place or unusual seems to happen, he will pass through it into the walls of his castle. And that is where we will take a quick 5-minute break. So stick around, chat. I hope that you
Just ghosted us.
enjoyed the dinner with Strahd, and when we get back, we shall see what the party is going to do with what has just taken place. So,
I'm shaking so hard.
wonderful.
Oh my gosh, I have so much tension to get out of my forehead.
I know.
just
Everybody
going to go
stand
walk
up,
around
everybody
the house.
move, everybody stretch, get some water,
The halftime stretch.
halftime stretch. We will be back in about 5 minutes or so, and until then.
Thanks for the gift sub, Mr. Saito.
Yes, thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Be back soon. Everyone, as we return to Strahd's dinner table, the host has left his guests behind to discuss amongst themselves what they are to do. They have been given free reign of the castle. They have also been given a 10-day timer before Strahd is going to force their hands. So, with dinner still before you, wine still in your glasses, and Ficus refilling yet another plate.
Oh no, Ficus stopped eating and refilling once she saw Bright's cousin just drag herself across the floor, like instantly sick, like, oh shit, who brought this food to the table? So, she has stopped and is just kind of like staring and going, oh god, what did I do?
The game is yours.
Well, that was interesting. Leaf is gonna look around and try to see if we're being watched by any of the quote, air quote, servants.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
I can do that. Roll. 16.
16. You take a look around the dining room that you're in. There are torches illuminating the room. There's no paintings or peepholes that you can see, at least. You feel fairly alone.
And so I was actually looking for the people that
The
were out in the
servants.
hall and yeah, none of them is in the room or anything.
There's no one in the room right now.
Okay, awesome.
Does
I'm
that include the people on the ceiling? Not people, the fiery red things, the dogs.
Reptilian creature.
Are there
s-
dogs on the ceiling?
Not in this room, no.
Okay.
so at this point, Leaf is going to take a nibble, like some meat or whatever, like little sliver of it or something, and start nibbling on it. But he's gonna get up from the table and just go and like just poke around the organ. He's very curious about it. He's not gonna touch it, but he's definitely like looking at it and inspecting it.
All right. As you get close to the organ, I think, and I have been awful about this, but I think I have a picture of the organ somewhere. Perhaps.
That would be
Is that it? Hey, I do have a picture of the organ. So there are marble statues that seem to be in pain, reaching for the pipes of this massive organ. If you're poking around, you can make a perception check if you'd like. It seems old. The wood is stained, but it is also clean, immaculate. Not a speck of dust on it anywhere.
So we'll make perception.
Alright, you can join him there. The two of you can make perception checks if you'd like.
I'll just, if it's all right. use
Or
that
investigation.
16.
Either way is fine. The 16? Okay. And a 6. The two of you start looking around the organ, and as far as you can tell, it is a fairly normal organ. Nothing out of the ordinary.
You know, like the honor.
Well, what do you think we should do?
Oh,
Do any of us have a copy of a map? I thought Bright does.
A map of what, Ficus?
A map of the area that we're in. You know, Barovia. I think Bright has one. And Ficus will just start, like, shifting stuff on the table to make room for the map to be, like, spread out ahead of them. Also, DM, could we get the map thrown up on the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I didn't know if you were going to... Not sure. I was waiting
Here.
to see where that was going to go.
I got you. Here.
I can't read.
Just look at this. Look at my screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Alright,
It's a
so
GM.
where's the castle? Where are we?
You
Let
are...
me zoom out so everybody gets to see it.
We're right here. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that we went to that one place first.
Yeah, we were like, oh,
That we
it's
didn't
too
make it
far
there.
away for us to.
Roll 20 is being difficult. All right, there we
You
go.
have essentially been brought all the way back to the beginning again.
This is the worst.
all right. So what are our options at the moment?
Well, I suppose we need to collect the items, and we also need to, like, find the people that the spirit is inhabiting for these different spirits. And then we need to bring them back to their place of whatchamadingers?
What you
Place. You know. Ficus has a better intelligence than Corndog does.
They're temples.
Yeah, they're temples. They're shrines.
Their
Yes.
shrines.
That's right.
Bring 2 shrines. Putting that in my notes. Also,
Find the
my
souls
notes.
of the Fanes, reunite them with their nefeshes, and bring them to their shrines. And Bright is just doing this all very robotically and intermittently just sobbing in between that.
And Irina will speak up. She's back to her more timid self. And what of the card reading that Mother Ava gave me?
What of it?
Serena, what was your card reading again?
Mine?
Did Irina get one? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Irina got one.
Yeah, what was hers?
Keep
I don't
planning
write
for a
things
moment.
down.
I'll
yeah,
get
the
to it.
GM totally knows.
This will take me a second. So go
I
ahead.
could tell you guys what mine was again, if that helps.
Yeah, I'm pulling up all of ours right
Which
now.
card was she?
I don't
Hers
even
didn't
remember
get
the
put with
card.
all of ours.
Ah, poo.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, wrong session. Session 7. 14 sessions ago.
Wow.
Oh, session 7 notes? You guys want to see my notes from session 7?
Mine was a lot of panic.
Fuck.
Oh, yes.
Oh boy, oh dear, oh no.
Oh no, mine was just so many scribbles. Like this is what mine
Yeah,
was
trying to
like.
keep up with what was being said at the same time.
Yeah. Let's just everyone show off your notes.
Uh,
But hey, you know what?
my notes are all in the loot boot.
All right, so
It has a unicorn on
Oh.
session 7.
Like, literally,
Bright?
I've been attaching them to our loot boot. That's the...
Bright was given the 3 of coins, the tradesman. Card spoke of history. Learn more of the Dreadlord's curse.
That's the book
you already
that we
determined
have, right?
is
Yeah.
the book that you found.
We should probably look at that.
Oh yeah.
Soul's card spoke of faith. The 3 of stars, the enchanter. A card of forced exchanges. Find a place where blood is taken, love is taken, lives were taken. Search beneath a monument to her death. And Mother Ava nodded her head toward Irina at that point.
We're looking for where Tatiana died.
Do we know where that is?
Offhand, you wouldn't. It might be in the book with some research.
Okay.
But I don't think in character anyone knows where that is. The third one was to... the man struggling with loss was Uther. And that was... the 5 of glyphs, the druid. Someone that fletches their arrows and raven feathers. A card that speaks of growing violence. A sister's lost stones consumed by the wood. Remove the root of the problem to uncover the light. Then...
I mean, could that be the Wizard of Wands?
the fourth card was
Okay,
for...
Cool.
Oh, I'm not going to answer. That's up to you.
Okay. I was waiting for the rest of the group to say sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Can I do a history or religion check to see if I can correctly interpret my card? This is the first time even partially.
You gave it to me and then forgot.
So I'm okay with you just telling me that Uther can interpret his card if you would like, or if you want to give it the chance of a roll,
I'd
you
like
can
to give
roll
it the chance
and
of
you
a
can.
roll.
Okay, so for your card, let me read it again real quick.
Oof! Nope, he still don't care. I just want to see.
A religion check. I mean, the things there will be a couple things clear because of your experiences. You wouldn't have to roll to know these.
Okay.
The keepers of the feather don't get along with the forest folk. So it would make sense that the people who fletch their arrows and raven feathers would be a reference to the forest folk.
Right.
Okay.
There is a reference to a sister's lost stones. Now there's gems that you found, but there's also standing stones you found a number of times, and you know there's 3 sisters, so it's likely referring to one of the shrines. So druids and a shrine, and remove the root of the problem to uncover the light. So you'd be able to piece those things together without...
Or all of us working together.
All right, he's basically just gonna regurgitate that.
So I had a question. Not for Irina, but the spirit of Strahd's girl.
Tatiana.
Tatiana, thank you. He addresses Irina as, I know this may be difficult for you, but may I speak to Tatiana?
Hi. I'm sorry. I don't know how.
All right. Well, then he just looks to Irina, and I was looking at my reading. It says, "Find a place where blood is taken for vanity, love for spite, lives are drowned in rage, where even the water cannot quench thirst. Search beneath a monument to her death." The only death I could think of that matters in this whole situation will be hers. Where is she buried? Would Nif or Irina know?
Bright.
Where did she die?
Sorry,
I also
Bright
might
or
know.
Irina. Ah, my bad.
Hi, well, I do have this map. Does it say?
So you have the book, and
I mean,
you can start flipping through the book if you'd like. And as you do, you come across the theories that the Keepers of the Feather have about reincarnation in Barovia.
Oh yeah.
And you know well that new souls do not enter Barovia.
Yeah.
But it seems that souls somehow leave. And the Keepers of the Feather, in their book, hypothesize that something is eating the souls of Barovia. It's sustaining itself off of them. And so this cycle of reincarnations continues with different souls and different bodies, and it's very, very, very weird for more than one to be in one body. And with Irina in her current state, you have 3. One that was imposed upon her with St. Angel's, and then the 2 of Tatiana and Irina herself.
Mm-hmm.
You also start reading that of all the souls in Barovia, it's Tatiana's that seems to double up, so to speak.
Right.
And so you start reading the different histories of men and women who have both shared a soul with Tatiana. And most of them end up in Strahd's castle and disappear.
So, I want y'all to know that I just got out my Curse of Strahd book, which I have been given express permission to look at certain pages. So I tried to open them to a certain page. Gore warning. This is the page that I opened to. Yep.
Oh, okay.
No thanks.
So
They're somewhere
that's
in
boding
this
well.
castle.
It is. There is in the book one of the reincarnations that was killed somewhat recently before Strahd could go and attempt to woo her.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in Berez.
Cool.
There was a woman named Marina. And somehow the Burgermeister there and the priest of Lathander discovered that Tatiana's soul was sharing the same body as Marina, and rather than give Strahd a chance, they killed her.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
And in his rage, he flooded the city with a swamp.
Which city?
So reading the book, the town of Berez was completely destroyed.
Is that where Dimitri was from?
No, he was
Nope.
from Krasic.
Okay.
Yep. There was no representative of Berez there.
Because it's not a city anymore.
Mhm.
It's a ruin.
So there's
that's-
So does it seem like that's what it's referencing?
that sounds exactly like what it was referencing. Thirst, water that cannot quench thirst.
Lives were
Blood
drowned
was
in
taken
rage.
for vanity. They thought they could stop Strahd by killing. It was spite.
Mm-hmm.
In his
So-
rage, he killed an entire town.
Yeah.
So what do we think is gonna be there then?
I'm hoping that the survivors might have marked it. That's where I need to search.
Well, it asks for cleansing by a faithful hand, so I assume that anything we might find would be useful.
It's the only lead I could think of, at least retaining to my reading.
I wonder if this gem, if I guess I'll pull up the gem that they have kind of like within their party.
All right.
Maybe that's where this could go. I don't know, but I feel like we have a bunch of sets of tasks. But how close do we think Berez is or was?
Taking a look at the map,
I'm looking for a
Berez
swamp.
Is
Almost all the way across Barovia.
it is at you.
Sick.
Essentially,
Yeah.
it's halfway across Barovia.
Can we get like a teleportation scroll or something?
But I mean, if there's other stops we need to hit on the way.
It's true. Honestly, I'm about to just like tape this up and start adding sticky notes to it.
Yes, do the strings with pins.
No, because I don't want to like ruin this map, but I'll do sticky notes. How about that? Okay, we'll do that. Okay.
And then the last two cards, the one that was given to let's see, I have to read these backwards because I didn't put the one given to Leaf was fighting alone is the domain of lost fools, the light to face the light, the innocent, red of hair, bright of mind, the most curious sort. A card which points toward naivety of heart. Though long lived and relived, like a candle melted for its light, innocence is oft lost to dispel the darkness.
Okay, I am legitimately taping this up so I can put sticky notes. It's going right here. We are starting a conspiracy board, my friends.
Excellent. I'm wondering if that one refers to the holy symbol.
Which one?
Mine.
On our list of things?
Yeah.
Like the holy symbol? Because we've got the book. You have the holy symbol?
Well, I don't know. The light of the innocent. Points toward naivety of heart.
We're still in the dining hall, right?
Yes, but if you'd like to do anything, feel free.
I'm gonna take a look at that organ.
Sure.
Just while everybody's messing around.
Yeah, Ficus is like standing on the table at this point, like looking over the map, trying to sort things out.
I got a 21.
21.
Of course he does.
So while of course he got a 21. As everyone else is discussing the prophecies that were given, you start looking around the organ itself, and it's huge. It seems built into the walls. It seems as though it should be completely immovable. And as you look at the different figures, you start looking at their faces a bit more, and all of them are terrified except one. One looks defiant. And out of curiosity or whatever motivation, you reach up and tug on it. And that one moves away, leaving a space just large enough to pass through, and darkness beyond.
Oh, interesting.
You at break. I don't know what the party's gonna do for the last half hour of session. Also you. Secret entrance!
I have an entire castle in front of me. I just don't know which way you're gonna go.
Out the front door, right?
I'll take secret
the front door was an
I'll
option.
take secret entrance for 800, Alex.
Alright, make it.
So
I am not a betting man, but I would not bet against that.
So
Shall
just
we see where that leads?
Yeah.
Where the heck is the windmill
Roll
on
it
my
up,
conspiracy map?
Uther's just going. I wish he was better, but
Roll
he's
it up,
not.
Ficus.
Well, I guess that's a yes.
I guess we'll just roll up the map,
brainstorm later.
just shove in her boot.
Yep. And I would just say, so just heads off after Uther. Can't leave him alone for 5 minutes. Out here discovering secret passages in a haunted
He gave
castle.
y'all like
We have other
15
places to
whole
go.
minutes to
Where are we
plan.
going?
He got restless, and then he pulled the Uther.
We've got divine souls to like reattach to. Oh God, why are we doing this?
I'm not
Got
done
him.
with the conspiracy map.
I've got a vampire's
Can't
head
leave.
needs to leave his shoulders, so like, y'all do you.
As you, within, lightning flashes, passing through the windows high above. There's a handful of arrow slits, but most notable is that leaning against the walls of this room are mirrors of all sizes. 17 in total. None broken, all carefully set in gilded frames with all sorts of different designs.
And take him as a vain man.
Can I attempt an investigation to see what's going on with these arrow slits to make sure I don't get shot up?
Oh, yep, go ahead.
So's gonna inspect the biggest one.
Hey, 17, what's good?
17.
I get a -1 on investigations.
You can see the courtyard to the north and all the way to the north wall and all the way to the west wall. It seems to just be, perhaps it was an outpost at some time long ago. But now it seems unused.
Yeah, now I'm just looking to see if there's anything of interest in here. Anything, I might break a mirror too, you know. I might break all the mirrors. I'm breaking all the mirrors.
I'm gonna start looking in the mirrors.
Okay. You
Do any
see
of them
yourself?
show anything interesting, or is it all just our reflection?
It's your reflections.
So's gonna do an a perception, like looking around the biggest ones and the ones around it.
Sure. Roll ahead.
Oh, finally. 18.
18. You're quite certain that's just the mirrors of the castle put into one room.
Yeah, it's almost like a vampire that can't look at himself in the mirror wouldn't want to see that.
So this just seems like a storage room?
Wait, do we know?
Yep.
Do I know that about vampires?
Not necessarily. Maybe.
So, Soul says out loud. So you're telling me that the guy who rules over this land, grand exit was into its storage room. How anticlimactic. And I'm guessing Uther has just destroyed half the mirrors at this point.
Yep. We'll give him time to keep
did we
breaking
see it?
mirrors if anyone else wants to do anything.
Is there a door?
Exits?
There's a hallway that goes to the south.
Oh, well, Soul's gonna look down that way.
Sure. What do you all have as light, by the way?
Don't need it.
My spirit, my will to go on.
My dope.
Angst.
My light
my dope
spell.
lantern.
Seriously,
light-
though, I
have
cast
a
light on
light.
my hands.
The light bounces off the mirrors, reflecting prismatically
Ooh, disco.
across the room. The hall continues to the south. Standing at the end of that hall, it's just a short 10-foot hallway. To the west is a turret. And to the east, a longer hall. 60 feet down, disappearing at the edge of the light of Uther's spell. The high domed ceiling of the turret post caps a 30-foot wide octagonal room. Frescoes faded with age adorn the ceiling, but their images are hard to make out. They seem unused.
And I'll take the spooky hallway.
800 Alex.
While we're walking, Ficus is going to continue her frustration with this gem that she couldn't figure out what it was the first time she looked at it, and continue to try to sort out, like, what this gem is. Now that they kind of have an idea, like, that these are nefeshes and stuff like that, she wants to, like, figure out whose nefesh this belongs to.
So as you touch the gem, you hear the howling of wolves in the back of your mind. And go ahead and make an Arcana check if you would like. Or religion, your choice.
19.
Leaf is following Solaire.
Sure. So, Ficus, as you consider this and what you've learned so far and the howl of the wolves, you start to piece together that of the Fanes, each had their own areas of control, of influence. And the Thane with influence over the wolves is the Huntress. And you're quite certain that you hold the Huntress's Nefesh in your hand.
Do we know anything about the Huntress so far? I can't remember if she's someone that we've been talked to about. Because we've got the Huntress, Seeker, and Weaver.
So we know that the mortal Huntress often disappears and prefers healing outcasts and deep desires and to protect. And so will probably be around the Weaver.
Other way around.
Or vice versa, sorry.
Yep.
And Muriel in Berez may know the mortal form. So we have to go there.
So we need to go to
We
Berez
gotta go to
for 2
Berez.
reasons.
Yeah, no. Berez is already on my conspiracy map 3 times.
Wait, so the town that don't exist has 3 points of interest?
I guess.
Neat.
Apparently.
Well, we know what to do when we get out of here.
I'm not spelling this correctly.
No worries.
Huntress
we
may
see-
be in Berez. Speak with Muriel at the shrine. Is the shrine to the Huntress in Berez as well?
No. The Fane Shrines are in Yesterhill, Kresk, and the Windmill. I love having this map. Why didn't I do this before?
The windmill that we burned
Makes
down.
me so happy. Yes.
There
That
was
one.
standing stones close to
The
it.
standing
so
stones
you
were
do.
like
We know where those
less
are.
than-
Yeah, we know where that one is because we thought about stopping stuff that was happening there, and then we're like, no, we can't. That'll upset Strahd. And by we, I mean Uther. That's Uther in my head canon.
That's a nice voice for me.
Oh,
So,
Trying to start some shit, Fig.
Nif, as
You
you're
like
putting
the breaking
sticky
dirt.
notes on,
Uh-huh.
there's a shrine in Berez. You don't know what's in Kresk.
Oh. It says my notes have stuff in there, though. Third might be
So the
Kresk.
Keepers of the Feather had trouble getting any information out of Kresk.
Okay.
So they think one of the Nefeshes might be in Kresk, but they don't know for sure.
We're gonna move that down. Okay. Here we go. My
So
sticky
you
notes
do-
are color-coded now.
Nice.
You know that, so you went to the shrine close to the windmill,
Correct.
and it was covered in wolf and teeth imagery.
Yes.
yep.
You were told of a shrine on Yester Hill by the Keepers of the Feather, which is one of the reasons you were heading that way. And then the Keepers of the Feather also told you of the shrine in Berez where Muriel is waiting on you because she has a lead on where the Huntress's mortal form is.
Where the Huntress what?
The Huntress's mortal form might be.
Yeah,
And if
my
we
notes
can
got
get
real messed up.
this to the Huntress, and we can get the Huntress to the Windmill Shrine,
The Windmill Shrine.
then we can get one of 3. Oh my god, we have no time. Oh god, we're so fucked. We also need
know
to go find
Mother
Grandma.
Eva is the Seeker, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so we technically know 2. We just need to know where her shrine is and where her.
We also need to know where
Nefesh
her
is.
Nefesh is.
Alright, I think I've had my fill of breaking mirrors. I'm gonna go down the hallway.
At the end of the hallway, there is a spiral stair heading up.
I'm gonna take going all the way up for 700.
Well, Soul was already headed that way along with Leaf.
The stair begins to climb. And for a moment, you get that feeling that the stairs just won't end. But instead, it takes 5 stories, 50 feet, to get to the top of the stairwell. Let me copy and paste you so that we're in the right spot. And when you reach the top, you find yourself up above this turret and this other room you were just in. At another long hall and more stairs heading upward. So the staircase continues, but you do end in another hallway.
Did the stair we were at go up and down, or just up?
Just up. Only up. And Uther, as you get to the top of that stairwell, could you please roll me a d20?
I don't like you asking me to do that, but okay. Give me just a second here. Okay. And I rolled a 1.
A 1?
Nice.
Sounds good. Noted. A long hall, the
That's
spiral
always
staircase
reassuring.
continues upward. That's what you get right now.
Do I see this chair?
No.
Can't see a chair.
What do you think?
Shall we see what's down this corridor?
I tried to do stuff with the lighting on this, and you
Don't
just
worry about it. It's all good. So where can we go? We could go like in this direction.
you can go in that direction. Yes.
All right, yeah, I'm going all the way down.
Oh, so Uther just pushes past this. I guess he's in front now.
I mean, I do have a 40-foot movement speed, and I'm big and mean as fuck.
As
I
you
get a
pass
40
in,
foot
Given
movement
encounter
speed?
scraps this entire campaign is what I'm just gonna say.
entering this new room, roll me another
Walk.
d20.
Ooh, man, that's okay.
Hey,
That's
Uther?
fun.
Hey, Uther,
I rolled a
stop
3.
entering rooms.
Okay. You are above the domed roof of the turret. There's arrow slits looking down, and below you can see the northern, western, and southern walls of the castle. The sky is continually pierced by thunder, and a layer of dust is over everything. It's as though it's an unused portion of the castle.
Since Uther went that way, I'll detour to the other room and search around in there.
Sure, why don't you roll me a d20?
I'll follow behind Lee.
Huh. Six.
6. It's a storage room with boxes lining the walls. Opening a few, the handful that are picked are full of dust and nothing. The wood disintegrates under your touch. Falls to nothing.
Leaf is, having found that one secret door, Leaf is now keeping an eye open for other such things.
Sure. Roll either perception or investigation.
Oh, my perception is a little bit better. Hey, that's a dirty 20. 15 plus 5.
You start feeling around the walls, looking for any crack, as you know that you're just above where the pipe organ is, and there was a secret door found there. So using every trick you can, trying to use your penknife and your dagger to find cracks between the mortared bricks. It takes you a couple minutes before you decide, no, there must not be anything here.
I'll waste time.
I think I'll give my room a try,
Go ahead.
if I may.
Go ahead.
17?
How does Uther look for secret doors at this point? Is he a
With
old
his
hanger or...
axe.
He doesn't have his axe any longer. He gave that to Toby. He
Sorry,
just kind
with
of
his sword.
smacks the hilt of his sword against things until something shows up.
Nice and loud.
Nice
start-
and loud.
making your way around. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Fast.
After the third knocking on a wall, you hear a knocking back
Oh no.
from somewhere within. Bang, bang, boom, boom.
What
Can
you
I
gonna
try
do?
can I try another perception check to see if I can locate where the sound is coming from.
Go ahead and roll.
Yeet! 15.
Bang, bang. Boom, boom.
Bang, 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 bang.
Boom,
Bang,
boom.
bang.
Hey!
Yeah.
If I find where I think the sound is coming from, I'm just gonna try to stab through the wall to stab it.
Anytime you bang, the response seems to come from right where you banged.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to stab whatever's doing this.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Try and stab a brick wall.
Well, I'm gonna try to stab through it. I'll rage.
Oh, whatever you'd like to do is fine with me. I just want to clarify what it is you're trying to do to the poor wall.
Yeah. He's going hard.
I'm gonna attack the wall.
All right, go ahead and
Good.
Well,
attack the
actually,
wall.
Attack the darkness.
Do it.
no. There's a
Do
smarter
it,
way
coward.
to do this.
Okay.
No,
smarter
you
way to
said
do
you were going to
this.
attack the
Sure.
wall. Come on.
That's all right.
I am gonna attack the wall. I'm gonna attack the wall with grief.
Okay.
Instead, so we're gonna do that 10-foot radius.
Sure.
So glad you're in this room alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
So I'll make my wisdom
We
saving.
hear this in the other room, by the way, and we are not coming to check.
Right?
Yeah. So I failed. So I'm gonna take some damage. But
Yep.
if this thing is within 10 feet, it also is gonna take some damage.
Are you healed from the last time we took
No.
damage?
Oh yeah, I've only lost 1 hit point. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So go ahead and
Roll
roll
20
3d10.
has you less.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at like 24
That's all right.
of whatever.
Oh well,
It's not
You
updating
get- you
for
get-
some reason.
you can check my D&D Beyond. Arugula.
Yep.
15
Oof.
damage.
15 damage. So, the screams of the souls trapped within grief sound louder within the castle. It's as though of all the places they would like to be, this is way, way down the list. Their
Insane.
screams start to make your ears bleed.
Ah, love it. Love that pain.
But you
And then-
notice no other effect.
Then I'm gonna knock on the wall one more time. Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
After releasing the screams, you knock again. Bang, bang,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
boom, boom, is the response.
He's just gonna walk out. It's not worth it.
Nothing in that room but more rotted stuff and
Oh wait, I keep. Nah, it's not important.
What did you find, Uther?
Oh, nothing.
I guess we're headed up another floor.
Why are we headed further into this castle? Why aren't we leaving? We have stuff to do, you guys. Like, I know this is cool, but at least we now know if we come back here that there's a secret passageway. And that's cool. But you guys...
Exactly what do we have to do?
Well, we did get 3 or 4 leads of prophecy to a town that no longer exists.
So we're going to chase prophecies and myths.
Yes, that's exactly what we're gonna do, Uther. Because
Land is full of it.
none of us are equipped to handle Strahd currently. Not one. In fact, this will just like look to
Hey.
the whole party at like, who's gonna step up and challenge that?
we need to restore the Thanes and we need to find 2 more items.
One of the items that we found, look, the items that we've already located, which of them can help us destroy Strahd?
Well, we'll take this one.
Potentially all of them.
Talk to Muriel, who will help us find the Huntress, who this belongs to, and then we'll take the Huntress to the windmill, and then she'll be fully restored. And then we'll have another angel on our side that isn't, like, you know, stuck at an orphanage or something like that. Maybe she's not an angel. Maybe she's just, like, a mega-powered mage. But that could be cool.
Irina will readjust her bearing to take on Angel's persona. My blade and holy symbol. It must be what they refer to. I used them to kill Strahd before. He rose because we did not have the book. We did not know of the Fanes and the power that he held over them.
Do we know where to find the blade or the symbol?
That the blade would be in Tatiana's grave, we think.
It seems one or the other is in Berez.
It's on the map, that means it must be true now.
I just know both of those are better than the sword that screams at us.
My thought would be that holy symbol would be with his love, not the blade.
Well, if we go to Berez, we will find something.
Let's start there then.
You will find something, and this can all be done within 10 days.
I would like to know the lay of
It
this
is a very
castle if
long
we are to assault him.
way.
Question, everyone. Do we think that horse and buggy system guy is still outside? And we could just ask for a 3-minute jaunt to Berez?
I don't
Fingers
know, is that
crossed.
That's a good idea,
Very
Ficus.
kind in offering us a ride to find the elements of his doom?
I think he's more curious at this point than he is, like, actively trying to stop us. Otherwise, why wouldn't he have just killed us?
I think Strahd's a bit more sporting than you think.
Yes.
Worst case scenario, we could just have Irina take the potion and that be done with it.
No. You heard her. She does not
everyone
want to
looks
be
at
here.
Uther. Sorry, Bright. I didn't hear what you said.
And no, we all heard her. She does not want to be here.
I don't want to be here.
Irina says, if that's what it takes to free this land of Strahd, if that's the only option we have, or if you think that's the best option.
That is
Good.
not the best option. The best option is to destroy him and restore the people, restore the land to the people.
But he'll leave, is what he said.
You can't.
But if he leaves, where does he go? Who does
And
he
you
do this
trust
to
him.
next?
Yes, if he leaves, we inflict him on the rest of the worlds. Here he
Not
is contained, but
our
if we let him go,
Problem.
It is our problem. I'm from the rest of the world.
Do you plan on staying here, Uther?
Actually, yes.
Since when?
offered him a seat.
I thought that was perfect.
Yeah, that's why I was laughing. So you would replace a tyrant with another tyrant. Leaf raises his eyebrow.
You seem to know much about how I intend to rule.
He
What's
was
the-
smirking at you two. It was obviously a joke.
Well, he's kind of stand back like, so you know how I'm
Fair.
going to rule.
Yeah, Leaf just shrugs. Well then, should we away from here? I'm sorry,
Let's
still
go.
there.
Nah, you're fine. Yeah, I vote we leave. I'm
Let's
tired of
go
finding
chase
empty
fairy
rooms and
tales.
creepy mirror.
Well,
Back
You know,
downstairs.
considering the rest of them came true. Yeah.
I've not ventured into any taller rooms. Like I stayed in the dining
Okay.
room if
That's fine.
if that conversation was being had anywhere else. Sorry. I found a table. That means I have nested by putting all of my books out on it and my map.
so So Leaf looks sort of nervously around at the others, and he says, I'll be right back. He's going to run up the stairs.
Oh,
and I'm going to use my feline agility, since I assume we've been standing there for a moment discussing what we're going to do next.
Yes.
So I'm just going to, like, bound up the stairs as quickly as I can.
You come at the top of the stairs is a thick door, bound in iron.
I'll give it a listen.
You can hear the rain falling. Your best guess is it leads to the castle walls.
Is it locked?
You try it, and the latch lifts.
Quietly open the door.
The door opens, and you find yourself on top of the walls of Castle Ravenloft. The rain comes down steadily and surely as lightning pierces the sky around you. The walls are old and strong. They lead to the right, to the west, and further down to the south, before getting to the outer wall itself.
So Leaf just gets a sense of where this door is from the exterior of the castle, so that if he needs to, he could come back here, and then he'll pull the door closed and run back downstairs.
Okay, there you go.
There might be a way in if we need to. There was a door out onto the ramparts up at the top of these stairs.
Right. So we have a plan of attack when we get back. But I still think we should leave.
Yes. Let's go see if Ficus is correct, and perhaps we can get a ride back. Or at least, perhaps even to Berez. That would be excellent.
So the rest of you head back down to the dining room.
Can we just like quickly go back down and around?
We can go back down. Down and around.
Yeah.
You find Bright working on the book and the map and piecing
Note cards.
together. And note cards. Piecing
Tarot
together where
cards.
to go.
I sent a picture of it to
Right, can
chat,
you do that?
so we all should be on the same page with where all of our ingredients need to be.
Back in the dining room, you come back together, or are you just heading through the front doors?
Yes.
Protesting greatly that we should really find more about this. He's kind of like under his breath the whole time. He's
I mean, look, if I see a library in any room on our way out, you know I'm putting down roots.
Yeah, exactly. Opportunity lost. We can find out so much about him, and
I mean, we have this book, and I hold up the book of the feather. It has a lot of people's knowledge.
sure, but it doesn't have a map of this castle. Where he's hiding, where we might find him, etc. It's fine, let's go.
We could search this for longer than 10 days. This has been his home for lifetimes. We will not outsmart him here no matter what.
Yes, I know, you're correct. Let's go. He'll actually lead
As you
the
open
way
the-
out.
As you open the doors to the dining room, there is standing in the hall outside a figure with a lantern. He is about 5 foot tall. Around his neck is a leather thong that has what appears to be an eye set into a pendant and a key at the end. The figure looks up at you, and you can see their face crisscrossed with scars. One eye is a grayish green and the other a dark brown. The skin tones don't quite match on his different parts. He looks up at you and... Hello, everyone. I am Cyrus, and here to give you a gift from my master. You will be taken to any of the towns of Barovia at your request.
Berez, quickly.
Berez is no longer a town of Barovia. And you are also to receive these. And he has in his hand 6 pieces of leather. They look like reins that have been cut off of a horse's bridle.
Taxi rides. Oh.
What are we to do with these?
Tie a knot, and the carriage will come and take you where you wish to go, within reason.
Interesting.
Was our first request within reason?
He pauses for a moment and holds a hand to his head, and he starts to... and he drops to his knees. Yes, my master. For a knot. Berez it is.
I'll take a leather strip from...
Wait. Before you tie it, what is there a cost associated with this?
My master's amusement, I suppose.
And that's it?
I am but a servant. I know not his whims and wills and wiles.
I would like to insight check this being.
Go ahead.
Not great. It's an 11.
The creature seems a bit unstable, but not insincere.
Oh, for all death touches. And Uther just ties a knot.
Why are you snatching from me?
As you tie the knot, the hall fills with the mists of Raven. They begin to crawl up your legs, and the cold touch of dew forms. In a few moments, all of you are covered in fog, and you can feel the castle fall away from you. The fog begins to clear, and you find yourselves miles away on a road next to a broken signpost. Old, nearly forgotten, with the word Berez carved into it.
Interesting.
And that is where we'll end for the evening. So thank you, chat, for joining us for dinner with Strahd and the continued search of the rest of the various items and myths and legends of Barovia. Don't go anywhere just yet. We'll spend just a couple minutes, probably just 5 or 10 tonight. We want to talk a little bit about our dinner itself. Chat, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, conundrums, or qualms, feel free to bring it up. We'll talk about it as well, and after a little bit, we will turn in for the evening and see you in 2 weeks. So, if you have any questions, feel free. As for everyone else, how was dinner?
I didn't die.
I didn't cry
None
in
of us
real
died.
life. I cried in real life.
Good cry or bad cry is part of why we do this.
I would like to shout out my college theater professor who gave me this lovely pack of sticky notes that I've been using as my conspiracy board. They are Much Ado About Nothings and they're William Shakespeare themed.
Nice.
Shout out. we have a map now, and I feel so much more organized. I should have done this so long ago.
I feel like it makes sense thematically, though.
Yeah.
Because this is the finally, like, where we're like, okay.
We're all actually getting together to plan.
Yeah, finally.
Hey.
Leaf is very relieved about that. And actually, Leaf would definitely ask Bright for opportunities to review the book as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he can...
Yeah, we need to pause that because Bright would like to ask you during that conversation what Strahd meant by you being a keeper of the feather.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll do that later.
Good stuff. Maybe we can start there.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, because we're on the road. We'll have to figure out where we're
on the
going.
road.
But definitely we'll have that conversation next time.
Yeah.
I just want to applaud our amazing GM.
Yeah, you're so creepy.
Was I adequately
that
creepy?
And like each one of those little mini encounters was amazing. Just it was awesome listening to everyone's interaction with Strahd. I just loved every bit of it, and I really appreciated how you set that whole scene up and made it so intense. That was.
They were nice and personal.
What, Rob?
I said they were nice and personal. None of them felt generic, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the best part about the whole thing.
Yeah. Like, I told you during intermission, like, you stressed me out so much that I was, like, anxiety test sweating of, like, oh my gosh, my turn is next. Oh my gosh, what am I going to say? Like, that's how in the moment I was feeling of, like, my heart was beating so fast because I was so concerned of what you were going to ask me. And just, like, I know you as a person are one of the, like, quietest, kindest people who's always like, oh, are you okay? Is what I said okay? And for you to just be, like, spewing this, like, mad respect, that's gross.
The creepiness of Curse of Strahd
yeah,
can be done a lot of different ways. And one of the things that I've been trying to do is between the dreams and this dinner conversation being a little bit of a almost climax of the dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the element that I personally like to kind of play with a little bit. I mean, we don't do like the super heavy gotcha gore type stuff, or there's unsettling things that you run into in my version of Barovia, but there's not. It's not just like.
I mean,
I don't know. I try and do it a little bit differently.
Having gosh, I love her. She's my favorite NPC in the whole game. But Esmeralda, thank you. Her name was not coming to me. But that scene with Esmeralda was that was intense, and for a couple different reasons. One, because it was just so cruel and like emblematic. No, that's right. Yeah, emblematic. That's not right. Anyway, whatever. It's so quintessentially expressed what type of person being Strahd is. That was just But the other level of it for me is that I watched the Dice Camera Action doing Curse of Strahd. That was sort of my first like glimpse at what could be done with some of this, and they did Esmeralda totally different, where Esmeralda was like this very strong, powerful like NPC in their story. So it was neat to see like such a drastic contrast, and in such a very telling way about like, yeah, this is what Strahd pretty much thinks of everybody.
It was also very interesting from what you told the players in backstory, because I grew up with Esmeralda. She was the big cousin that I wanted to be like when I grew up. Like, it was set up as like, she's off adventuring because she's cool and she's standing up against Strahd, and I'm like, that's who I want to be. I want to be her because she's cool. And so I got to like have that relationship built and pre-established of like, okay, Esmeralda's here. Esmeralda is a dog, basically. And that crushed me. Like, in and out of character, seeing what happened to her.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. Yeah, I was expecting that would really hit Bright pretty hard.
Yeah. Like, I thought it would be really funny to be like, what if I was a native? And now I regret that choice. Everything feels so personal.
Yeah.
What, Rob?
You being a native helped our story so much.
It does.
So
I really like
you
that
took one for
element.
the team.
And it's a very unique thing that I get to be experiencing, but it also just hurts right now.
Yeah.
I love
see
that. Corndog, I was really impressed at this moment just recently
You're just
at the
talking
end
to
here.
his face. You're so cool.
Where well, that was, yeah, everybody at dinner was incredible. I was also really impressed just as a player how you just thought to sort of ask if there was a cost associated with the travel.
Yeah.
That was just, I never
Smart.
would have thought to ask that. That was really incredible to me.
Yeah, Ficus is definitely in the mindset of, like, nothing is given out for free.
Yeah.
And, like, briefly, like, in her backstory and stuff like that, like, they don't really have currency where she's from. But it's like, if someone's gonna give you something this
That has
powerful,
to be
like, there's something on the other side. And, like, she doesn't think it's just for his amusement at this point. Like, in her brain, she's like, if we only get one of the Fanes, and he's able to kill that Fane, like, what kind of consequence does that have?
Yeah.
Like, she's thinking, like, big picture, like, are we helping him by not doing enough? Like, if we can't accomplish these tasks. That's why she was very much like, we need to get out of here, we need to get it done, like, we need to go, because she's very worried about the consequences of them not completing their tasks. And, like, Dane's hinted at it, like, 10 days is not a long time. And so she's thinking about, like, all the consequences of their actions if they're only partially successful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How come Uther decided to stay his hand?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, hey,
Yeah.
let's talk to Noir a second, because,
The Vistani. It was depending on how this talk goes, that decides what happens with the Vistani. And he was gonna ignore that at first, but hearing Bright kind of go, real strength is being able to show, what's your vulnerability and all that kind of stuff. It kind of got in. So he realized that he's always known that he can't kill Strahd by himself. But the more he heard Strahd talk, the more he realizes that just hurting Strahd is enough. Strahd kind of has to die. So he can't go so hard so fast. So he's in his own Uther-like way, he's trying to be a team player.
yeah, I noticed that now.
But there's still things that happen that he's just like, I'm not gonna spend 20 minutes talking about this shit. Like once he opened, like, for example, once he opened the organ,
In you go.
he knew,
Yeah.
like, if I stop and go, I have found something, it would have been a 10 to 15 minute conversation.
Can I just say that Uther's insane luck is inside driving so crazy. Like, we failed. So critical failed. He just instantly passes. Like,
The dice
you're
support your plan, and I hate that.
man, this whole campaign.
Well, I love how...
I just want you to know.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. It's just literally like.
What dare
That's
the
why I
dice
wanted to
agree?
look annoyed when you found the secret passage. I was like, really? Really? Like, we checked it, nothing comes up. He checks it. Oh, look, a secret passage.
But equally, it feels like, I mean, you rolled 2 natural ones tonight, which stinks on ice, and yet it feels so perfect for Solaire. What's that?
The whole campaign. Overall the campaign.
Yeah.
Like remember the strength check? I have one of the highest strength. I think my strength is actually higher than Uther's.
Yeah, you probably have the highest.
I still rolled so low that I struggled to keep a door closed, and he did one-handed.
I kind of like that dynamic because it's like Uther's good at what he does, but you gotta deal with the fact that he's Uther. So it's just like, does it balance out? And you know, he after tonight's dinner, depending on how things go, he's making an effort. And I think all it'll take for him to make that final transition is the little bit of give that he's giving being noticed. Like, if it's just like he's giving and it's still like, oh, Uther's being Uther, he's just gonna revert back. It's kind of like dealing with a cat. You kind of gotta watch how it is.
Yeah, you gotta nurture it very slowly.
Just like work with it. That's Uther right now.
Slow encouragement.
I think we'll RP that during our rest, probably.
Most likely. But
can we have a meaningless fight just to get a lot of the stress out?
Can I just say, one of my favorite moments was when Strahd touched the chair, and I just see a look of panic on everybody's face. Like, Uther, no!
We're all like, no.
No, that's bait. That's bait. Don't do it.
That's why I said he needs to touch your shoulder instead. If he touched you,
if he touched Uther's shoulder, that was gonna be an irage, and I'm hitting him with the chair. Is this chair magical? I need to know for damage reduction.
And that, when I was prepping for this, there were, different ways that I thought it would go. And the way that I thought was most likely is why I've been reading Strahd's stat block for the past day and a half. Is because, and Strahd's stat block has been open on my other screen this entire night, because I expected that there would be some kind of fight.
Yeah, every ounce of preparation I did for today was even part of the reason that kept me in the shower for so long is because I was having Ficus and Uther argue in my brain, and I was just getting ready to figure out exactly what I need to say to pull Uther in off of that edge. And that was 2 weeks. And then tonight in the shower, I was finally fucking got it. I know what I'm going to say to Uther. I know how tonight's going to go down. And then none of it happened. Not a damn cent of that extra 10 minutes in the shower.
If it weren't for that Fastani bit, Uther was going to go hard.
I love it.
He genuinely felt bad because he's just I'm okay getting myself killed. I'm okay getting the party killed, kinda. But I can't get
an entire
me killed, the party killed, and all of Bright's people killed. Because the thing is,
the same guy who killed an old man just to pray.
That's growth.
Oh no, he's even right now, Uther has no regrets about that. That dude sucked. But the thing is, Uther's people got wiped out. Uther is the last of his clan, and so he couldn't do that to another clan. He can't be responsible for another clan being wiped out.
That makes a lot of sense.
I love that, and also that makes me so sad.
Well, so was it Esmeralda, or was it the exchange at the very beginning before we all came in?
It was quite literally the sentence. Depending on how your protection, the Fastani's protection, depends on how this conversation with these heroes plays out. If that sentence wasn't said, oh, I'm swinging for the fences. Everybody dies.
That's a really cool decision.
TPK.
What's really funny is how it's interesting that you hinge it on that single sentence, because I had played out my plans of, okay, there's going to be a fight. There's a couple. I was planning the ways the fight would go, rather than would there be a fight or not. So I was sitting here going, okay, so if Uther gets in a fight with Strahd and the rest of the party really does stand back and let it happen, what's going to happen then? What do I do with Uther's limp body at the end of that?
Or what does Uther do when he stands over and destroys Strahd?
Nice try, buddy.
So that never came up in my planning at all.
Why? Wild.
I wonder how the person with 3 legendary actions every round, who also has lair actions in his castle, and
Writing that down.
This isn't making me
that's
feel
just
better
standard
at all.
big bad evil guy
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
I mean,
this is
standard
D&D, y'all.
D&D
Come on.
5e.
Uther can take it. He's got this.
I was trying to figure out. Okay, so he's only allowed to take 1 legendary action after a player's turn. So I'm gonna have to make all of them roll initiative, and every turn tell me they're going to do nothing while Strahd is just tearing the shit out of Uther. So, but yeah, no, it's just interesting it went this route because it changes a couple things, and I think, and this is what I kind of want to leave you guys thinking on as we close up for the night. I think that also has had pretty major ramifications on how I see the story going on from here. Because it does drastically change a meeting that will happen. And I think it's going to change in a very, very interesting way.
I don't like that.
I'm so anxious for when we meet with the Vistani next. So anxious.
I am too.
The Vistani?
Yeah, we have to go talk to Mother Ava at some point.
Yeah, we have
and
to get my grandma.
all I'm thinking about is the consequences of tonight. And seeing
I'll
them
leave
again.
solidly.
I'm just gonna cry directly into Grandmother Ava.
I will do
y'all-
whatever it takes to keep
y'all-
my family safe.
Y'all need to be reminded that Bright is 19 years old. Yikes.
I dare say that having
She
a
can't
dinner
take
with Strahd, to me, seems like quite the milestone.
Yeah, that was pretty big.
There was a lot of emotional.
That was so subtle.
Experience?
Yeah, there was a lot of experience.
I don't
Babe,
understand
I had
that
to use
word.
an actual inhaler for tonight, okay? I deserve
So-
something for that.
As I said last time around, every time you collect a MacGuffin, you'll level up from here on out.
Berez, everybody,
Right.
Berez. We can get
There's
3
gonna be-
MacGuffins.
There's
That's
3
3
MacGuffins
levels.
there. Done.
3 levels in a
Deal.
day.
Deal.
We-
Done.
we-
Absolutely.
We
we'll
will
take it.
we will see how I define MacGuffin when we get there.
I
Okay,
think
but if we all just decide that we're gonna level up, you can't fix all of our character sheets, so...
It's a lot easier for me to make Strahd and everything else stronger.
all right, everybody, make level 2 of the characters. Go,
Alright,
go.
here we go!
Go.
Can't stop us all!
I think that is everything for this evening. I hope that everyone had a lot of fun. I had a blast. I appreciate it so much. I kind of went into this, real life note, I went into this session pretty stressed out and wondering exactly how I
Yeah.
was going to make it through the session. And it took all of 20 minutes with the 5 of you to just really open up and be able to relax. And I appreciate that so
Honestly,
much.
same.
And, that's something I greatly appreciate and means a lot to me. So from all of us, for me, thank you so much. For chat, thank you. I read through. I didn't see too much for us to react to. All
Yeah,
that
did y'all
much,
have any
but-
questions?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
us
I see it.
chatting with
Questions,
Purple at this
comments,
moment.
concerns,
Oh, yeah, well,
conundrums, and
Purple.
qualms from chat.
Got the
The
question.
team plans Uther last.
There was a comment about someone just about had to step away during the description of Esmeralda. So I will say that's a good thing to point out. Everyone has their own limits and what is no longer fun and entertaining, and we
Thanks.
support 100%. Looking after yourself. That's absolutely. Things are rough. Take a step back, and if you as chat want to talk about it after the fact, that's something we're happy to talk about too. I mean, this is a streamed game, a game we're playing, hopefully to entertain you and ourselves. So that's always this debriefing, open heart session here at the end is something that is for all of us in a lot of ways. So, yep. I think that's it. Love you all. See you all in 2 weeks, where we find out what's in Berez. And until then, be good.